Well, another sensational day here in Melbourne greets us as the Australian Open Wildcard Play-off continues here at Melbourne Park. Well, another interesting day yesterday, plenty of interesting results. We'll get to those in just a moment. But today it's the turn of the girls, the final women's round robin matches as the guys take a break. Their quarterfinals on tomorrow. Alongside Brett Phillips. And Brett, some interesting results yesterday, Ash Barty in particular.
Yeah, Ash was outstanding, Pete. Welcome everyone. 2-0, so she is the hot favourite obviously in her group and should probably go 3-0 today. How about the battle between Marinko Matosevic and Sam Groth? That was outstanding. Marinko probably in the end just a little bit more consistent, made less errors, but there was plenty of emotion out on court. And our man JP Smith, he is just going through the draw very nicely.
He certainly is, and also James Duckworth scoring a win as well. We look ahead to today, and as I mentioned, the final round robin matches for the women, and Casey Dellacqua up first against Stephanie Bengson, who was good in the second set against Barty yesterday.
Yeah, certainly pushed Ash. I mean, we thought Ash was going to run away with that second set, but she really made her earn that match. Casey looked 6-love, 6-1 yesterday, so she bounced back beautifully from that loss to Ash on the opening day, and you would think Casey will be a little bit too strong there.
So some important matches coming up today, particularly this next one, Isabella Holland taking on Arina Rodionova. The winner of that clash will go through to the semi-finals.
Absolutely, both undefeated, so it's all on the line. It's cutthroat today. Arina, of course, played Alison Bai, who came into the draw courtesy of the injury to Rachel Paveur yesterday. So, yeah, comfortable victory for Arina. Isabella's been good. Good match.
Our next match, Sally Pearce taking on Storm Sanders. I know you've been impressed with Storm's work over the last couple of days. Wide open group this one, both players needing a win.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Storm on our broadcast court. I've wanted to have a little look at her, but it's a great name. She's from WA. They produce good tennis players, and really looking forward to seeing her out here.
And then Olivia Rogowska, who pretty much is through to the semi-final stage, finishes off her round-robin campaign against Belinda Woolcock.
She normally peaks nicely, Olivia, come December and the showdown and the playoff, so she's the hot favourite, and you would think we're going to see her on the weekend.
So some great action coming up on our main court. Plenty of action on the outside courts as well as we count down to the semi-final stage for the women. The weather today, well, another beautiful day in Melbourne. A little bit warmer, 30 degrees. The wind has picked up a bit. It'll pick up again in the afternoon, but we'll have another trouble-free day, which is what we like to see.
Glorious day for tennis. So if you're in Melbourne, come down here, find a park. It's free entry. Park yourself in the sun. Plenty of food and drink to replenish yourself with, and enjoy the tennis. This is what we love about this week, Pete, watching the young up-and-coming stars of Australian tennis.
We certainly do. Plenty more action still to come. Stay with us. On the other side of this break, we'll take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday's action and count down to our first match, the Australian Open Wildcard Play-off for 2012 on tennis.com.au.
Ready? Play at Australian Open 2012. A ticket to the biggest sport and entertainment event of the Australian summer makes the perfect Christmas gift and outstanding value for the whole family. The best in the world are coming, so book at Ticketek now. Ready? Play. At the biggest sport and entertainment event of the Australian summer. Australian Open 2012. Book at Ticketek now.
Well, another sensational day here in Melbourne. We're looking forward to getting the women's round-robin action underway, the final of the round-robin matches. And Brett, we're counting down and looking forward to seeing Casey Dellacqua, and she really bounced back in her match yesterday and looking to continue that form on.
Well, she was outstanding, Pete. I mean, blinking you'd miss her match yesterday. It was on and off pretty quickly. It was a really nice way to respond after being shown up just a little. She maybe... I'm not sure the mindset she came in with that clash against Ashley Barty on Monday. It was a little bit of a surprise, but yep, she was superb.
She certainly was. So was this lady, Ash Barty, who is really belying her years. She's 2-0 in this tournament so far and scored a straight sets win over Stephanie Bengson. She said in her post-match, Brett, that she was feeling a little bit flat after the win against Casey Dellacqua in the first match, and wow, if that's her being flat, then look out the rest of the field, because she's going to be very hard to stop. And she showed that. Bengson in the second set started to work her way back into the match, but in the end, Barty was just too far in front.
Well, what you've got to love about Ash, as we can see here, she's just got a great temperament. And we saw Justine Enna, have a very successful career, small in stature. She obviously is not big, Ash, but she punches well. Look at that forehand. She keeps balls in court and doesn't seem to get fazed by too much out there. I mean, just a really even, cool temperament, and she's got a great future. We're just watching her journey with great fascination.
Yeah, we get another opportunity to see Stephanie Bengson, to see how she backs up after that match yesterday. And as I mentioned, in the second set, really started to get her game going, got a strong first serve, really quick and fast first serve, and showed a little bit of variation, and as I said, worked her way back into the match.
Absolutely, and we might see a little bit more of her, the young girl from New South Wales. But the good part about Ash is she just keeps a lot of balls in court, comes up with the winner at the right time, constructs her points really nicely. So once again, super impressive, as you can see there. She had a big lead in the second set. Stephanie was able to work her way in, but Ash eventually was able to settle and take it out.
So here is match point, another beautiful winner down the line, sealing the win for Ash Barty. As I mentioned, she's 2-0 in the blue group and is looking very good. A win today against Emlyn Starr out on court number 5 will see her through to the semi-final stages of the wildcard playoff. Some of the other matches around the place. This one was interesting. JP Smith and Chris Guccione was our first match on our feature court, and we were very interested to see how this one would go, with JP scoring a strong win in the opening round, and Chris Guccione obviously not having played that first match. He took a little while to get into it, but JP Smith flew out of the blocks.
Well, he had every answer, JP Smith, and coming up with shots like that, a couple of feet behind the baseline. But look, the Gooch early couldn't buy a first serve, and JP Smith was able to pounce on those short second serves, and he really took advantage of that right throughout the match. As Gooch got into it, we know how good a doubles player he is. He came to the net, his bowling was terrific, got himself back in the game, but JP Smith, well done. He just had every answer, Pete, and really stood up when he looked like he was going to be overrun.
Well, he took on Guccione, who, as we know, as you can see there, loves to serve and volley, and his returning was sensational. It really was top class yesterday, and that's really what won him the match, the fact that he was able to blunt the Guccione serve. He next comes up against Michael Look, who is a different player altogether. So he's playing a couple of players who have different variations on their game, and it'll be another tough test, but it's one that he could potentially get through, and he's in the same part of the draw as Marinko Matosevic. And if you look at Marinko, it's a similar sort of style to Chris Guccione, that big serve, the heavy ground strokes, happy to come into the net. But he's looking really good at the moment, and we're talking about dark horses in the draw. He's certainly got to be one of them.
Yeah, no doubt. He is in really, really good form. He's got a nice, solid game. He can come in and be comfortable. He's got the lefty serve, and he does serve at a good high percentage. Maybe not as quick as the Gooch, but geez, his placement was good. And shots like that, I mean, he just took so many balls early cross court. And of course, he was serving second in this second set, but eventually got his nose in front in that tiebreaker. It was a great game.
And there is the match point there. So as I mentioned, JP Smith to take on Michael Look in the quarterfinals. Some of the other quarterfinals, Jones to play Tripodgia, Mitchell to face Duckworth, and Kyrgios to face Marinko Matosevic. Those matches will be played tomorrow, but in the meantime, it's the time for the girls to shine, and plenty of other matches going on around the courts today. A couple of other interesting matches to come. And in particular, Ash Barty, obviously, a lot of focus on her today. She's playing on an outside court, on court number 5 against Emlyn Starr. And you suspect she'll win that and win through.
You would think so. So that's from 11:30 if you're coming down to Melbourne Park, as we can see Ash there with Jason Stoltenberg just thinking about their game plan for today. So that's from 11:30 out on Court 5. Ash 2-0, Emmeline Starr, of course, is 1-1 from her 2 matches. And then Rajasic Babusic, that'll be a good game too out on Court 5.
We'll talk about the Court 7 matches in a moment, but our man has just decided to change the colour of his strides again, which is obviously a good thing. And we say a very good morning for the first time to Adrian Franklin.
Not just my strides, but my shoes as well. I've gone brown tinge today, so I thought you guys would enjoy that. Guys, in Melbourne, the weather is always something we need to discuss. It's been warm from the first day on Tuesday, but today is definitely our warmest day. We're going to hit 30, and the wind is up and about as well. So for the girls early, they're going to have to really handle the conditions well, but today is going to be the toughest day. But it's going to be good for some of these guys to get ready for the Australian Open, because this is a very similar condition to what they will expect in January. So we'll monitor that, but I think they're going to struggle early with this wind.
Thank you, Adrian. Make sure you keep that hair in place this afternoon.
He's got a vast wardrobe, hasn't he?
He does.
Personal wardrobe department looking after Adrian.
I believe he's
down
got a
there.
whole room just full of clothes. Whole room area in his house, which we've dubbed the ski lodge, by the way. Just some of his very, very sharpest attire, which hopefully will be coming out over the weekend.
Indeed. Going to be a warm one, and everyone who's coming down to Melbourne Park, bring some sunscreen, because you're going to be toasting out in that sun. Hopefully a nice little breeze, little zephyr coming through.
Well, let's quickly tidy up court number 7 today. Lenka Hubacek takes on Alison Bai, Alison Bai into the draw for Rachel Trudeau today. And then Azra Hadzik taking on Daniela Jeffley, former Daniela Dominikovic.
Yes, indeed, from New South Wales, the 7th seed. So that's out on Court 7. There'll be 2 really good matches, but of course we're standing by for our first match. The equation is simple today. I mean, Casey's got to win in straight sets if she's somehow going to get through to the weekend and the semi-finals, and Ash Barty needs to lose in straight. So I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen against Emmeline Starr. So Barty's certainly in the box seat in her group.
Absolutely. We'll take you through all the other groups and the permutations as the day goes on. We'll have our semi-finalists by the end of the day, but our first match is about to get underway, and Stephanie Bengson is with Adrian Franklin courtside.
Steph, we just spoke about the conditions. It's warmer and windier today, something you might need to consider?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a beautiful day and there is a little bit of wind about, so I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Play well.
Thank you.
As Casey comes out on court. Hey, Casey. Well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Now, you're an outside chance to get through, so you've got to win today straight sets.
Yeah, just another match for me, so looking forward to playing a little bit more tennis. I've had a lot lately, so it'd be good to finish off this week with one more match and, look forward to next year.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you to Adrian courtside there. Really looking forward to this one. As you mentioned, Brett, the equation is pretty simple, but a lot of things would need to go Casey's way today for her to get through, and so important to grab these matches, and important too for performance, because as we mentioned throughout the tournament, the wildcards, one women's, one men's wildcards being handed out, but also there are plenty of other opportunities for wildcards, not just here, not just at the Australian Open, but also the AO Series events too, wildcards into the qualifying events, and there are a heap of them to be given out, and it's obviously based on merits, and all these results are important. So it's important that Casey really finishes off well today. Let's have a look, have a listen to the umpire, the toss of the coin.
I don't know. Good question.
It's only us. The boys aren't even playing today. I don't know.
Steph, do you want to call?
Yeah, heads please.
Okay. It's tails.
Oh, what did
She said heads.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll have to. Okay.
Okay, so Casey is choosing to receive. So they swap ends. Bengson getting the choice of side, of course. As the loser of the toss, as the flip of the coin come in handy for you today.
Yes. Moved a couple of coins at the gate, but Ash Barty is obviously in the box seat in this group, so she's won both her matches in straight sets. She's won 24 games. Casey, of course, has won 2 sets, but she's only won the 18 games, so she's going to have to win in very comprehensive fashion. But look, tough to see Ash Barty beaten today against Emmeline Starr. But as Casey said, it's all about getting more matches under her belt. She's won the last 6 Pro Tour events, 30 matches, couple of matches here. So if it does end today, she'll be hopeful of getting into the draw, whether it's Brisbane, Sydney, Hobart, and just trying to stay injury-free. That's the key for Casey. But look, certainly, as you said, Peter, it's a week to make an impression with the key people who make the decisions on wildcards, certainly courtside watching. And Casey Dellacqua has been given certainly plenty of support over her time and got to number 39 in the world. I think all of us would just love to see her just have one full year on the tour and see what she can do, because she's certainly shown she's very capable.
So Casey Dellacqua on your screen, of course, on Twitter. You can be part of the conversation rolling through. You can ask us questions. We'll have a number of special guests throughout today. Your comments as well. We'll read out a selection of those. There's the hashtag AO Play-off if you want to be a part of it. And also if you want to find out the latest results as they're coming through, not just for the wildcard playoff, but also around Melbourne Park with the wider December showdown. Oz Tennis Results. At Oz Tennis Results is the Twitter handle there that you can keep up to date with everything that's happening around Melbourne Park, Oz Tennis Results-wise. Yes,
keep them coming through, all your tweets. Of course, the men having a day off. No, they'll be out here practicing. They might have been out here earlier this morning before the heat really sets in, but of course the men back for quarter-final day tomorrow here at Melbourne Park. So we'll get through the girls, the last of the round-robin matches to decide the semi-finals.
So just taking a look at some of the other groups, just to give you a rundown of today, and obviously we'll be going through it as the day progresses, but in the magenta group, Group B, we've got Olivia Rogovska, who is pretty much well out in front, and doing the sums today worked out pretty much that she's through, and would need a hell of a lot of other results to go the opposite way for her to fall out of the semi-final contention there. Azra Hadzik, Linda Woolcock and Daniela Jeffley make up the rest of that group. In the green group, though, it is very interesting, and the clash today, a little bit later on, between Irina Rodionova and Isabella Hollands will be very, very interesting, because the winner of that match will go through to the semi-finals.
Simple as that. That's the equation. So that should be a terrific match, both in very good form. They've won the same amount of games, same amount of sets. The stats very even there across the week.
And then in the final group, this is a wide open group, the yellow group. Sally Peers, Bojana Babusic. Bojana Babusic on top by virtue of that win over Sally Peers yesterday. Sally still a chance to get through. Also Victoria Rajcic and also Storm Sanders can make it. So that is very much a wide open group, that yellow group.
We'll be doing some maths a little bit later on, but Bojana, of course, won the 27 games for the week, so she's got certainly an advantage there. Won more sets than the other girls, but yeah, that could ebb and flow throughout the course of the day, and we'll keep an eye on both those matches. In fact, Peers and Sanders in that group, we'll have that on our broadcast court here on court 6,
and Rajcic and Babusic will be on court 5. Constant updates throughout today on that
second match out there. So the first one, of course, Barty and Star starting at 11:30, Hubacek and Bai starting at 11:30 as well, if you're wandering down to Melbourne Park.
So the players just completing their final warm-ups. There's Stephanie Bengson there from New South Wales.
1 minute.
And she'll be looking for a strong performance to finish off her event. Casey Dellacqua the same. That streak ending at the hands of Ash Barty on Tuesday. Crowd filing in. The quarterfinals for the men on tomorrow.
Some good matches there too, Pete. Who do you like in the men's draw?
I'll come back to that in a moment, but let's go to Adrian Franklin, who's just assembled himself in the crowd, just kicking back for the day, aren't you?
That's it, guys. I do like to sit back and relax and enjoy the day, but over on court 4, just behind me, we've got the Rodionova sisters practicing again, so they obviously enjoy practicing against each other. Irina is coming up second match. She's going to be playing Isabella Holland from Victoria, so that's going to be a really important match. Both girls have won both of their matches so far, so that could determine who will go through to the next round. So the girls are just behind, having a chat and a little bit of a drink of water as well, so we look forward. Also, just while I'm here, we just spoke to the mother of Stephanie Bengson, and we've got some really interesting information to come up soon. So we'll come up to you guys and let you know, but a really interesting story. So we'll get back to you very shortly on that one.
Oh, Adrian Franklin doing a bit of sizzle work there, Brett. Just keeping us hanging.
Intrigued. intrigued
Could be
already.
anything.
Always like to hear from one of the mums. And the Rodionova sisters, very close, Anastasia and Arena.
Of course, Hot Shots program's running today, court 3 and around the other side of the grounds. So, good program there. Tennis Victoria doing a wonderful job putting all that together.
Yeah, great program.
hold on
And
a
I
second,
was
sorry.
watching a bit of the cardio tennis
You need to be in
yesterday.
the
Boy, oh
middle.
boy, I'm still
You need to be in the
recovering.
middle.
So, looks like Casey Dellacqua chose to serve. A little bit hard to hear the umpire, but we're away and ready to go. Final round robin matches today here on tennis.com.au. Be important for Bengson to find her range early. Would have sat down with her team last night and gone over the match with Barty and talked tactically about what she needs to turn around for today.
You've got to keep those unforced errors down.
And primary to that is how you play a lefty. Oh, it's a perfect start.
Yeah, she's just following up where she left off yesterday, Casey, and the match didn't last long. 6-love, 6-1. Maybe the 10.05 to Pakenham.
Take all the pace off that ball. I'm not sure if she was quite looking for that much angle. It's effective nevertheless, but still a couple of game point opportunities opening game for Casey. So there it is, easy hold opening game.
He looks pretty solid in the opening service game, Casey Dellacqua.
Should point out too, Brett, that those outside court matches will start at 11:30 local time. So won't bring you too many scores early stages, but then after that there'll be plenty of scores coming throughout the day.
So the warmest day so far of the AO Wildcard Playoff, going to get to 32 degrees. And humidity upper end 70%.
It's going to increase as the week wears on. It's unfortunate because then you get storm-like conditions.
We'll have storm-like conditions a little bit later on. Right here, court 6, Pete. Don't worry about that.
So Bengson to serve.
Breezy down there on court.
And it's dropped in. Plenty of top spin on that one across court. And Bengson again just struggling to get into the net. No, she's got a bit of tape on her knee. Her right knee, you can see it there on your screen. Another short ball easily put away. Dellacqua means business. I think she got a bit of a wake-up call on Tuesday against Ash Barty and has really turned it around since then and looking to continue her good form. That's not a bad way to follow it up.
Starting to find her range on her serve here, Stephanie Bengson, who's quite tall in stature and good weapon for her if she can get a high percentage of first serves in. Second serve there with a bit of bite.
Bengson had to choose side today after losing the toss and chose the end over here, where she's serving from now. She's trying to get out of the direct sunlight. She looks up, into the sun. So a break point for Dellacqua. As mentioned, trickier conditions today with that breeze. It just seems to be gusting. It's the worst possible times for Stephanie Bengson. Change her game accordingly, just struggling to find her range early. Good follow up on that first serve from Bengson there. So this second game is developing into a long one. Terrific second serve. It really was a jamming serve into the Dellacqua backhand and able to follow it up. Just a gust of wind there as Steph was throwing the ball up. So it's a marathon this second game.
A bit of frustration for Stephanie. Casey Dellacqua a breeze through that opening service game.
Just straight into attack mode for Dellacqua there. Just overplaying it. Picked up on the breeze and it starts to gust up again just as Stephanie's about to serve. Well, it's tricky when you've got to contend with the sun and the wind.
Back we go.
We may never get through this game. Could be rolling through until midnight. The way we're going.
It was a good serve, but a great return from Dellacqua. Plenty of depth.
Trying to get to that backhand wing. Probably want to chuck one out to the forehand just here. So big chance for Dellacqua now, standing inside the baseline. That's why she's serving out to the forehand side. Big backhand from Dellacqua. It was an arm wrestle, that one. 2 games to love, though. She has the break.
You had to work pretty hard. Mixed service game there from Bengson. It certainly can be a good weapon if she can get a high percentage in, but the breeze playing a little bit of havoc at times. Open court there for Casey. Not going to miss those too often.
It's now all about consolidating the break and doing it as quickly as possible. Really struggling with those balls down the middle of the court. Bengson at the moment, just trying to turn that angle, create that angle. It's very tough in the middle of the court. Try and generate enough angle to get your opponent into trouble. Really, Casey adapting to the conditions a lot quicker, very experienced at this venue.
Yeah. There's that open court again. So Casey Dellacqua once again breezes through another service game as she heads to the chair. Ominous signs early here. 3 games to love, the #1 seed.
Yeah, she's certainly looking good at these early stages. The equations we mentioned in her group, pretty simple. Ash Barty needs to go down in straight sets. Casey needs to win in straight sets. But the way Ash Barty's playing at the moment, it appears that that's going to be unlikely. But let's go into the crowd. We were promised one hell of an amazing story by Adrian Franklin, who's down there with Stephanie's mum.
That's exactly right. I have Kerry Bengson with me. Now, Kerry, I'm just going to introduce the little story we had 5 minutes ago. So you came up to me just behind the commentator's compound there, and you said that you wanted to give me a little bit more information on Steph. And I said, not a problem at all. You didn't introduce yourself, so I was a bit unsure as to what was going on. But then I asked you at the end, so sorry, who are you? And you said, I'm Steph's mum. So tell me a little bit about this story that is pretty special.
Well, Steph realistically has only been playing since June, full-time tennis. She went to college in America, in the United States, in California. She loved it over there, and she came back, and she was lucky enough to get a job with Tennis New South Wales as one of the community tennis officers for the southeast region. And she did that for 2 years, and during her work process she met a fantastic fellow called Ed Barclay, who's a local coach in Bulli. He also coaches Blake Mott, who's been down here. and he tried to encourage Steph to get back into tennis, which she did. She went off to a tournament last year in November just for a bit of fun with one of the local girls, and was lucky enough to win that tournament, and that sparked the passion back up. So realistically, she worked for 2 years, which she's had to do, to pay and support her game that she's now playing. She retired from her work in May, and then went off overseas in June and hasn't looked back. She's now has a singles ranking, which is pretty good, and a doubles ranking, which is just amazing for the 6 months that she's been playing. She's ranked 274 with her doubles partner Tyra Calderwood, who's another really great player. And the girls have caused a few upsets on the pro circuit. They won 3 tournaments in a row, beat every number 1 seed team they came across, which caused a few upsets early on in the piece. And no, they did really well. So she's thrilled. She just loves doubles with a passion, and she just loves the game with a passion, actually. So yeah, she's just stoked to be here, and so am I. It's great.
So she's struggling a little bit in this first one, but she is certainly being competitive out there. You did mention a couple of things as well. Obviously, she's incredibly excited. When did she get the call up to come down here to Melbourne?
She got an email about 8 o'clock Friday night. So it was a big rush to get down here for Sunday, and of course, you know, no hitting partners organised, nothing for her when she got down here. But the girls are really lovely. I mean, Casey Dellacqua's been really lovely to her, all the girls actually that are up here. So she eventually got a hit with some people after a few phone calls, and yeah, it was a bit of a rush to get here though. But it's been well worth it. It's just experience. I mean, she's just overawed. She's just rapt to be asked. Very appreciative.
So yesterday, as the players come out on court, I asked them one question each, and I saw Steph off to the side, and I didn't really know too much about her, but she did look incredibly excited, and now I know why. She was bouncing up and down, and you mentioned earlier that her friends back at home are all watching as well, is that right?
Yeah, they're all watching. All my school friends, all Steph's friends, local tennis people. I know her coach will be watching, so g'day Ed. He wouldn't be happy with that double fault. Anyway, no, they're all very supportive. She's a very popular person back home with all the juniors because she's put herself out for all the juniors. So she's a great role model for the kids. She's great.
It's a nice shot by Casey. You can clearly tell she's putting a lot of effort into it. She's really enthusiastic out there, so she's advantaged down at the moment, but she's doing really well.
Well, lack of experience at this play level, you know, obviously, and that's what she said. If I can get a few more matches against these fabulous girls, she'd be thrilled, you know. It's only going to improve her game by playing the best ones. We've got some great girls here. That Ash Bartley yesterday was just amazing. She's a great local, you know, talent. She's just a really good player, and Steph was just, you know, happy to play her. It's, yeah, terrific.
So we're back to Juice with a strong first serve there by Steph. And another good serve, so it takes her to advantage. Perhaps she can get her first game here, get on the scoreboard. So you also mentioned something about the strings in her racket. They've been in there for quite a while, I hear, as well. And she likes to do everything by herself. Does she string her own rackets? I mean, Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, she bought a stringing machine this year, and that takes pride of place in the house. And her and her dad actually...
Oh, there we go. Oh, absolutely. So she's on the board, first game.
Good girl. Yeah. No, she's, like as I said, she's done everything on her own. She's, it's a credit to her, really. And it's a good inspiration for a lot of girls that are in the same position. And boys, of course, yeah.
A nice serve there by Casey. So before we finish, I did want to ask you about why she began taking tennis seriously again. You mentioned your father, a little bit of a story about him. So
yeah, no, Dad just encouraged her to follow a dream. Yeah. So he's not with us anymore, so she's doing exactly that. She's given it her all.
No, that's beautiful. Strong shot there by Casey. Well, Kerry, I know the guys up in the commentary box, Brett and Pete, they both love a good story, so they are going to have enjoyed this, I'm sure. They are, they're just waving. So we'll cross back up to them now.
Thank you very much.
But thank you very much for being with us.
Good, thank you.
It's a hell of a story.
We do love a good story.
We do.
Of the underdog or the person. And how about that? The email Friday night, bags packed.
No stringy machine packed. That clearly was the first thing that went to the car.
And as Mum said, had a bit of recent success on the Pro Tour, particularly in the doubles with the 3 titles. And what we've seen from her here, Pete, I mean, look, she's tall in stature. I'm not sure of her exact dimensions. We might try and look that up. But, got a big serve that can certainly work to her advantage. And just great experience, as Mum said, coming here this week to play against high calibre opponents. And she'll take away a lot, learn a bit about herself and what she needs to do to play against the very good players.
And the other thing that was mentioned there, obviously in New South Wales, that she's been working as a community tennis officer, and those community tennis officers, it's an initiative of Tennis Australia, part of the funding package that goes to the state associations, and there are community tennis officers in each association, and they've got a certain amount of clubs to look after, and they make sure the clubs are going well, checking on the health of clubs, pointing in the right direction with initiatives, holding meetings, and providing opportunities for clubs to really grow and be a part of the community. They help out with funding bodies. They also help out with local councils, provide a liaison point. And really important, the link between the clubs and the member associations. And of course the state association. And a lot of the community tennis officers, at least the Victorian ones this week, involved with the Hot Shots programs, the schools programs which are coming through at the moment. So we'll have the opportunity to maybe catch up with one or two of them a little bit later. Hitting by both players.
It's a great effort, Peter. As Mum was saying there, she's only been on the tour this year. She's been able to get a WTA ranking into the 700s. Quarter-final in Kalgoorlie as part of the Australian Pro Tour. Round of 16 in Bendigo. Played a couple of events over in Italy, making the round of 16.
It's a late call by the umpire and overrule there because there is a lines person.
Just goes to show birth certificates mean nothing in tennis, do they? 24 starting out. So a late bloomer. And we'll follow her with a lot of interest in 2012, regardless of what happens here today.
It's really onto that forehand side, Dellacqua. Still Bengson with a chance to hold. Beautiful finish again by Dellacqua. That half-court ball put away. Interesting talking to Casey yesterday, as we did on the coverage, her preparations. She's going to be playing a lot of the AO Series events in the lead-up. I believe she's heading down to Hobart. And playing in Brisbane as well in that first week of January. Great work by Bengson to hold there. Tough holds. 4 games to 2 though, Dellacqua in this opening set.
She's just started to get a little bit of confidence, Stephanie, and striking the ball quite nicely. Got the big serve, but yeah, Casey just keen to play as much tennis as she possibly can. Just wide there from Benson, so Dellacqua once again trying to get through her service game fairly efficiently.
There's a lot of construction work going on around Melbourne Park as the broadcast compound gets put together.
Is that what it is?
There's a crane that's making its way around the course, so you can hear that beeping.
Love already.
So racing away with another easy service game. So Dellacqua holding 5 games to 2 now in this opening sets. Important game for Casey. Will want to finish off her wildcard playoff on a high and give herself an outside chance of making it through to the next stage if Ash Barty goes down in straight sets today.
Yeah, she can only hope Ash has an off day, Pete, but certainly she is the favourite. But Casey playing some good tennis here at the moment. 5-2. Still to come today on our broadcast court, Isabella Holland and Marina Rodionova, Sally Pears and Storm Sanders, and then Olivia Rogowska taking on Belinda Woolcock. All those matches for a broadcast right here on Court 6, as you can see. Bathed in sunshine again here, Melbourne Park. Much breezier than it has been the last couple of days. And a fairly humid day here in Melbourne, but conditions that will certainly be with us, you would imagine, come the last 2 weeks of January.
Well, fingers crossed.
Stephanie's mum, and I believe that might be Sam Groth's mum sitting next to Stephanie's mum there. Even though Sam's been knocked out, still coming to enjoy the tennis.
So Bengson now serving to stay in this opening set. Been going 27 minutes. Another clean winner.
Well, she made a habit of that, Casey, during this match. Those short balls just...
Well, they're not even that short, but she's just able to really step in on them. Oh, another clean winner there. And they have forehand side, and Bengson not able to do much with that. Casey's had plenty of time off the tour, coming back earlier in the year. Had protected ranking for a little while, and that period of time ran out. And a bonus, I guess, picking up the French Open mixed doubles title. Playing with Scott Lipsky there. Nice handy little pickup. It's always nice to win a Grand Slam title, no matter what event it is.
So it sets up now a couple of set points for Casey Dellacqua. Well, they're ranking here at the moment about 133. Pete Zane has a couple of good results. Back in that top 100.
Gee, tough for Bengson to serve now. That breeze has really picked up. Just hear it coming across our effects mics. That was so close to the line, landed in. There's the opening set going to Casey Dellacqua, 6-2. And on track to record a straight sets win and really complete her end of the equation.
Yeah, going very nicely, Casey. Very comfortable on serve in that opening set. She breezed through her service games, but she'll learn a lot, Stephanie Bengson, as she heads to the chair.
Adrian Franklin is back in the stands. As I said, he's pretty much having a day off today. He's just kicking back, enjoying the tennis. He's got Chris Johnson with him, part of the AIS program, working with Casey Dellacqua.
That's right, guys. Chris, you've been working with Casey since about the start of this year. She's obviously had an up and down year, but I mean, she won 36 matches in a row, so she's full of confidence out there at the moment, would you say?
Yes, yeah. I mean, she's, it's been a little while when you don't play much for the 2 years beforehand with her injuries, and it took a while. Although with all players, confidence is a big thing, so she needed to do plenty of training and get some matches under her belt. She's had a few good victories this year, but just she couldn't get a run on in any of the WTA tournaments. Like, she'd have the odd win here and there, but trying to win a few matches in a row. So we talked about her just getting a lot more singles matches, so she decided to come and play all the 25s at the end of the year, and it's worked out perfectly with her playing 6 of the 25s and winning 6 and just getting that basis of matches. You can practice as much as you want, but if you win a few matches, you hit the ball better, and like you said, confidence-wise, it's a big boost for her. So yes.
So this week she's sitting at 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah.
So how have you felt she's gone? Obviously she lost to Ash. How did she come back? What were her thoughts on that one?
Look, I think she's hitting the ball just as well as she has been against Ash. I think she's actually probably just a little bit nervous playing the young up-and-coming star, and Ash had nothing to lose. Casey was a bit tentative. Ash went for it. Everything came off for Ash, and Casey was a little bit in probably not the frame of mind that she should have been, and it showed. And tennis is it's a huge mental game. And I said the next day she came out and beat Emlyn Star 1 and Love and was back to normal. And we spoke about that, and obviously it's just how much your head affects your game, and she's still playing as well. And she's confident. It's just off to a bad start. And like I said, Ash played very well, played smart. Things went for her, so I said to her, look, you haven't had a bad day for a while, and even the best players have bad days, so and look, you got to give credit to Ash as well. We're not taking anything away from her. She played very smart and well.
And that one's gone in, so good rally there. Certainly tough conditions out here at the moment. As Casey's coach in the stands, what are you looking for in particular out there while she's playing?
Firstly, being positive. You know, like don't not to be too impatient, but at the same time, you know, Casey's game is to be aggressive and to be more of the aggressor out there. So I've been working on her. Sometimes I used to feel like she'd go for the winner too early and, you know, be over the top with trying to hit winners. So I've been trying to get her to just hit one or two balls each, at least one or two balls, and then just picking the right shot to, but being aggressive at the same time. And on top of that, high first serve percentage, we've been trying to work on a serve just to get the percentage up on a first serve percentage. So yeah, trying to keep it simple.
So she went on that demolition run, if you like, of 36 matches in a row. What do you put that down to? Something has to flick, surely, for that to come about.
Yeah, look, again, you know, she's worked hard this year. Like since we started, you know, she hadn't hit too many balls in it. I don't think she was playing particularly well, and she worked on her fitness. And I made her hit a lot of balls. We did a lot of drilling early in the year, just to try and get a good base for the rest of the year. I mean, she played on the WTA tour, and the doubles is roared up, and she's won a couple of good singles matches. So it was just there, but I think just at the level below a little bit. Once she started playing a few more matches, she started to believe in herself a bit more, and some of that, you know, the form come back from probably a few years ago, and then it's one of those things. It was just confidence, really, and at this level. I mean, she had a few girls come at her, you know, really have a good go at her, and she. I mean, it's a damn good effort. I don't care who you are, but to win 6 tournaments at any level, because you do have a few bad days and you've got to cope with those. So, and she coped with that. So hopefully, you know, we're going to take that into the summer. You know, I mean, it's another level up, of course, but you know, that's what the plan was, and you know, so far so good.
And out there at the moment, she's obviously doing well. Have you noticed anything in particular that you've been happy with?
Yeah, look, I mean, again, she's hit the ground strokes much better, and just it was like a match yesterday, and it's the same again today. I just wanted to, like we were talking about, go out and be positive and aggressive, but not over the top, and she's doing that again today. And obviously we've got a bit of a game plan to play all the girls, so that's working out. She's sticking to that at the moment. So.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and good luck for the rest of this one.
Okay, cheers. Thank you.
Always good to catch up with Chris Johnson, being part of the AIS program for a little while now. Not getting around to that ball. Some interesting comments about Casey's year and getting back into tennis again. It was when I caught up with her in January. She was just getting started in terms of getting out there and hitting balls and the like. And from then on, obviously, there's been heavy drilling through, and then a chance to head over to Europe and play a couple of events there. But gee, her second half of the season has been fantastic, and she can be well pleased with her efforts this year.
I think the interesting point there, Pete, is Chris was saying that you certainly don't try and take away the aggression in her game, but certainly not maybe trying to hit the winner every time, and maybe hit a couple of balls and then build up to it. So we've certainly seen that through Casey's matches this week. She is by nature an aggressive player and wants to get on with things pretty quickly.
getting away from Bengson there. Hold for Dellacqua to go to 2-love. In fact, it's break to Dellacqua. 2 games to love. Yeah, a couple of the other things, talking about building up that confidence out there on court as well. It often takes a while to build up when you're just on the way back.
Yeah, huge mental game, isn't it? We saw her out here against Ash on Tuesday. She just didn't look have her mind quite right, and that's half the battle.
Just struggling with the breeze a bit here, Bengson. But just going back to Casey for a moment and talking with Chris about the way that she's set a year up, the importance of building a solid foundation. We talked about a lot of drilling at the start of the year and trying to build a foundation to set up, because it can often take a while, and when you haven't been hitting consistently, it can take a bit of time to get up to that stage.
Yeah, well, she's had some very lengthy spells off the tour, so you really need to put a program in place for about 12 months before I suppose it can really start to bear fruit.
So hold for Dellacqua. 3 games to love now. She's got the break of serve.
Yeah, certainly well on top, Casey, in this match now. So for that girl on screen, Stephanie Bengson, we spoke to Mum. It's just a real learning week to come and play 3 matches here. Got the late call up on Friday night via the email. Get down here, you're in the draw. Starting on Tuesday, didn't have anyone to hit up with, and she'll walk away certainly better for the experience.
Well, in some ways it might be better because you haven't got time to get nervous. Just got to get down here and get on with things. And doing it all herself as well.
And Ben Mitchell warming up. Of course, he'll be playing tomorrow in the quarterfinals against James Duckworth. Benny had a tough second set. Matthew Barton certainly pushed him out on court 5 yesterday. We saw Duckworth here in a very impressive display against Luke Saville, the last match of the day. So that is a quality match, the 3rd and the 5th seed in the quarterfinals tomorrow. And both, of course, getting their ranking inside the top 300.
So Bengson serving. Doesn't want to go down the double break. Plenty of depth on that lob, but it was looking like it was going to drop in. So Steph having to hit it. I know Steph's got plenty of mates who are watching the live stream today. Apparently her mates call her Banger.
Banger?
Yep. Apparently. Apparently she hates it too. Doesn't like being called Banger.
Do we just leave it at that for the moment?
Well, we won't call her Banger because, well, A, she hates it, B, we're not her mates, so.
She's Steph to us.
Yes. So hello to all her friends watching around the place, particularly where she's living down at Wollongong.
Beautiful part of the world, the
Oh,
Gong.
yes. And if you are watching, you want to send your messages of support to Steph, hashtag AO Play-off on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll get to a few of those tweets as they start to come in. But right now, a couple of break points here on the Bengson serve. for a 4-love lead for Casey Dellacqua this second set. Beautiful shot again by Casey. She's been terrific behind the baseline and she is powering away. 4 games to love. She won the opening set 6 games to 2.
Frank Lambert sending in a message. Casey Dellacqua looking good in her match. Thanks again for the live streaming. Happy to assist.
Yeah, it's great to be here for the entire week. The men in action tomorrow, semis and the final across the weekend. All the big events covered right across the summer. Of course, Pete, you'll be down in Hobart. We'll be streaming the Hobart International. I'll be doing the qualifying here, so plenty of ways of following the build-up to the Australian Open, starting January 16.
Work by Bengson here. She's really worked hard in this game, set up plenty of opportunities now with a couple of break points. Double fault, so Casey's game off the boil just slightly. Chance for Bengson to work her way back into it. She can be happy she's got the break. Still trailing though, 4 games to 1 in this second set.
Yeah, so still certainly in command, Casey. That'll give Steph a little bit of pep in her step as she heads to the chair, getting a break. Going for the blue power rate, don't get her an orange one.
There's plenty of other bits and pieces going on around Melbourne Park today. We're going to check in with the launch of the Sir Norman Brooks book, which is happening a little bit later today, and also the Australian wheelchair tennis launch. We'll be talking a little bit about that.
No doubt, that is one of the highlights.
So it's a new look Australian wheelchair tennis tour.
Yep.
TA partnering with the Australian Paralympic Committee. It's designed to attract the world's best players, all chasing valuable. He had nothing to lose.
Yeah, more eyes on her, whereas on the Pro Tour, of course, heading to all parts of Australia, you can sort of fly under the radar a little and go about your business.
Took off that lefty serve, just kept going. That's a great pick up off the ground by Casey Dellacqua. Really was having to get down low, just trapping the ball. Still able to get deep into the court. Part of that fitness work that Chris Johnson was talking about earlier. Great movement around the court. Looking great. Finishes off that game with an ace. 5-2 now. So Stephanie Bengson will coming out now to serve to stay in the match.
Yeah, tough ask, but Casey only potentially a game away if she can break serve here for a comfortable straight sets victory.
Well, they say you should never work with kids or animals in this TV game. Well, Adrian Franklin's breaking one of those rules.
That's a challenge.
That's it, guys. All I do, I like to break the rules all day, every day. We have our ladies' school from Craigieburn here, so they're going to be playing hot shots a little bit later on. And we have Mr. Versace here as well. So, Mr. Versace, how is it for the kids to come along on a day like this? Bit of excitement?
Great day to be here, and the weather's fantastic, and it gives them the experience of being at the tennis. It's great.
And we have one of the little superstars from our ladies here. Mate, what's your name?
Michael.
Michael, and I hear you have a favourite tennis player. Who's that?
Rafael Nadal.
And why?
He's a good tennis player.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, there you go, guys, breaking the rules, but this is our ladies' school. They'll be out on the Hot Shots court very soon.
Thank you, Adrian. Hotshots.tennis.com.au so you can find more information about that program.
Mr. Versace.
Yeah, it has a fair clothing line.
Clearly going more casual. Look, Mr. Versace today. Yeah, great to see the kids. They've been here all week. All the school kids are filing in big numbers. Fair trip in from Craigieburn.
It is. They'll be a wonderful time. Get to watch a bit of tennis as well. So, Steph Bengson now serving to stay in this match. When you hear the story from Steph's mum earlier today, the journey that she's been on, it's been quite a good performance. A tough group this with Barty and Dellacqua. While she'd be disappointed with the way things have turned out, she can be well pleased with her efforts here, and hopefully that will open a few more doors for her heading into 2012. The other good thing is that she's been able to make some good contacts down here as well. Obviously mixing with the girls. They do a couple of sessions in the lead up to this wildcard playoff off the court. Includes a whole range of information and bits and pieces and training sessions and the like.
Yep, just a good valuable experience.
I do wonder with that stringing machine though whether they are driving back to New South Wales or flying. I imagine your excess baggage would be quite high if you've got a stringing machine on board. Even your smaller compact versions.
Might have driven, just on the roof racks. Tied it down.
Coming up after this match, Isabella Holland taking on Arina Rodionova.
Yeah, going to be a great match.
Both
Both undefeated.
For a spot in the semi-finals. Trying to go with the drop shot.
30-40.
It's only a point away now. Casey Dellacqua from winning her third match, winning her second match of the three she's played this week.
That'll do it. So comprehensive performance from Casey Dellacqua. And she keeps her very faint hopes alive of making it through to the semi-final stage with a straight sets win. 6-2, 6-2 over Stephanie Bengson of New South Wales. And now we wait to see whether Ashley Barty can score a win over Emlyn Starr a little bit later on today to work out who will be top of the blue group, Group A, here at the 2012 Australian Open Wildcard Playoff.
Yeah, good solid performance by Casey. Certainly aggressive from the opening game. She got through her service games very efficiently right throughout the match. Stephanie had some patches where she certainly was able to match Casey, but in the end, just too consistent off the ground. And she's standing by to have a chat to Adrian Franklin, who is courtside with the winner, Casey Dellacqua.
Casey, tough conditions out there. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I felt good. Yeah, it was a little bit windy and a bit gusty, but yeah, I felt good. Good to get another match under my belt, and yeah, look forward to starting the summer.
Did you know much about Steph coming into the match?
Yeah, she's obviously played a lot of college tennis, and she's been playing really well on the pro tour, so I knew I had to be up for this match. But yeah, no, she played really good and seemed like she had some good matches this week, so it was great for her to get out here and I guess experience her first playoff.
So you're still in the running for it, depending on what happens in the Ash Barty match.
Oh, okay.
What are your thoughts? Have you had a look at that at all?
Nah, to be honest, I think my week's over, which is fine, and I'm sure Ash will go out there and continue to play well like she has all week. So, yeah, to be honest, I'm looking forward to getting home. I've played a lot of tennis in the last 3 months. I've had a lot of matches, so I'm kind of just really happy with my year. I'm happy where my rankings finished. I've kind of done a lot better than I thought I'd be, and the body's healthy, so I'm really happy.
We spoke to Chris Johnson in the stands earlier. Obviously, he's worked with you all year. How has that gone?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Like I said, my ranking's at 133, which at the beginning of I only actually started in March. It's not even been a year. So if you said that I'd finish the year 133 and, you know, really playing some good tennis, I've had one bad day in the last 3 months. So, yeah, Jono's been fantastic. He's worked for me with day one and been really positive, and yeah, I think that's the key to why I'm feeling so good and why I'm playing well. And yeah, he's been awesome. Good WA bloke, like comes from WA, so it's nice to have that camaraderie. And you know, it's been worked well so far.
Well, he did say you looked positive out there, so I'm sure he'll speak to you about it. I'll leave that to him, but he was pretty happy with it. One last one, shopping.
Yes.
One of your number one interests, I hear. You said to me yesterday you want to get out there and shop. Yep. Where's your favourite place? Melbourne? Not bad?
Yeah, Melbourne's always good for shopping. That's the one thing I enjoy when I come to Melbourne. And like I said yesterday, we're staying in South Yarra, so it's quite close to Chapel Street, which is a little bit dangerous. You kind of just ponder down there and seem to come home with a handful of stuff. But no, I do enjoy shopping, and Melbourne's certainly one of the best cities for that. So yeah, I'll definitely during the Australian Open get back down and do a bit of shopping.
Well done. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Well, there she is, Casey Dellacqua, a straight sets win to finish off her round robin stage of the wildcard playoff, and she can take plenty of confidence into 2012, Brett.
Yeah, she certainly will, Pete. Got a lot of matches under her belt. She thinks it's done now. She's almost thinking about heading back to WA on the plane for Christmas, but funny things happen in sport, and if Emlyn Starr can step up and defeat Ashley Barty, it certainly opens up the door for Casey Dellacqua, who has a chat to the media who are down here this week. But she can be very pleased with the back end of her year, as you mentioned, getting some good games under her belt, back in that winning mode, and right for next year.
Well, that's one match completed. This next match coming up will be a beauty. Isabella Holland and Arina Rodionova playing off for a semi-final spot. That's next here on tennis.com.au.
Ready, play at Australian Open 2012. A ticket to the biggest sport and entertainment event of the Australian summer makes the perfect Christmas gift, and outstanding value for the whole family. The best in the world are coming, so book at Ticketek now.